All I gotta say is Habakkuk 2 verse 6. Call William La Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Chakwadash. Double unto the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well. As always, peace and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And before I even play the video, let's actually go to that in Habakkuk 2. And I'll read verse 3, and I'm going to read down to verse 6. It says, For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. And we see that the Lord's word is true. Right? He is not a man that he should lie, right? Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is not upright in him. That's this devil, right? But the just shall live by his faith, all right, not by the keeping of the law. Even though we established the law, but we know that we're going to be saved by faith. Okay, keep that in mind. But let's continue. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home. He's everywhere. Causing chaos. Disturbances, wars. Right. Who enlargeth his desire as hell and as death. His appetite and his desire is insatiable. Right. His covetousness is out of this world, man. This is this devil wanting to take total control over the whole population. It says, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. And for what? For one world government, or for a one world order, right? Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. When you go into that word for thick clay, right? The Hebrew word is ibatyat, and it says weight of pleasures, heavy debts, right? Heavy debts, man, right? And also when you go to the same verse and you read it in let's go here real quick, the NASB 20 translation, right? And let's read it. It says, will all of these not take up a song of ridicule against him, even a saying and insinuations against him, and say, Woe to him who increaseth that which, it's like it, woe to him who increases what is not his. For how long it makes himself rich with debts. You see, all this spending, all these stimulus bills being passed, in which it's not being used to take the poor from poverty. It's not to increase your education. This is not to combat the drug epidemics. This is all for Build Back Better. The Build Back Better initiative, the NWO. And this is what they're going to do, is they're going to implode this current monetary setup and replace it with the new one. So we're just waiting on them to finally pull the plug while they continue to, bury themselves deep. So, I'm gonna play this clip right here. All right, and this is dealing with the U.S. national debt, which is just top 30 trillion. All right, and this is when you read the headlines, this is the biggest debt for the first time in history for the United States. So listen up.
Look who's here now, Senator Mike Braun, Republican from Indiana, who has a thing or two to say about debt, if I'm not mistaken. Let's jump right into it, Senator. You've got $30 trillion worth of debt right now for our country. Do you see a debt crisis coming soon? Because we always talk about it.
No doubt about it, Stu. And let's put this in perspective. I've been here a little over 3 years. When I got here in January of 19, 18 trillion. That was approaching record levels. We came out of World War II, the heaviest in debt as a percentage of our GDP. We were savers and investors. Now we're consumers and spenders. And I debated Bernie Sanders on the floor. Look it up, Braun Sanders on YouTube, dismissing all of this through the modern monetary theory. It doesn't make any difference. Stu, this is an example of sticking your head in the sand. Republicans have been part of the issue up until the recent spending spree. I'm one of the few that talks about it all the time. You feel like you're talking to the side of a barn. Americans need to be aware of it. In the long run, this will take us down.
Now, Senator Manchin says that Build Back Better is dead. That would seem to me to be helpful towards the debt, because if we're not going to be spending, what, $4 trillion, we might be able to get a bit of a handle on the debt. Do you see it that way?
I think he holds so much power.
About a couple months back, Joe Manchin, he basically said no to the Build Back Better agenda. But for how long is he gonna be able to, hold it back? They might do something to that dude, man. Or eventually they might do something behind the scenes to get him to change his mind. Because this devil, he's determined. We know that they have an agenda that they have to accomplish. You see? But let's continue.
He is one of the only kind of fiscal moderates, conservatives in the Democratic Party. He's been clear. Of course, the administration is trying to take Build Back Better, which is big in its original form, and break it down into smaller pieces. Manchin says we're not even doing that. Stu, we haven't even done our spending. I'm an appropriator for the year that ended last September. And we're doing trillion-dollar deficits that are now closer to 1.5 trillion with the new debt base or deficits baselined into our spending. This place, is shameful in terms of how it's run by the seat of its pants. Finally, guys like me are maybe going to start to resonate, because sooner or later the chickens will come home to roost.
My colleague Larry Kudlow suggests that the way forward is to cut taxes and cut spending. That releases the economy and probably lowers the deficit. Would you agree with that?
I'd agree. We tried that back in the Reagan years, but didn't have the fortitude to cut spending.
True.
It's easy to increase spending and lower taxes. Political will, discipline, backbone is needed to actually cut spending.
Yeah.
Even conservatives come here to the federal government trough wanting more money for their pet project. That's especially disappointing.
Well,
sooner or later, we'll run it into the ditch and have to do it.
It is the nature of modern politics, I'm afraid to say. But Senator, always good to have you on the show. Thanks for being here today, Senator Braun.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
You said this place is shameful. Yep, and that's prophecy too. Everybody's seeing your shame. This is Nahum 3 and verse 5. And it says, Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts. And I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness, meaning I will expose you to the nations, and the kingdoms thy shame. All right, and you can sow the shame to yourself by cutting off masses of people, and you didn't went to war and converted you didn't put all your money into war and destabilizing governments, just overseas, just doing shit, putting yourself further and further into a hole that you can't get out of. And now look at the country. You see, homelessness is at an all-time high. Depression, drug abuse, unemployment. Rent is going up. Crime is escalating. More robberies, burglaries, hunger is. I mean, it's just getting worse and worse. And now the Lord is exposing it. $30 trillion in debt. So, hey, and it's all according to this devil's covetousness, his own desire. All right. Hey, Babylon, you finished. All right. Jeremiah 51 and verse 8. And it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain? If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And hey, with that, hey, above a ball, shalom.